शिव का स्वरूप मानो, गुरु ब्रह्म रूप जानो। शिव का स्वरूप मानो, गुरु ब्रह्म रूप जानो। शिव का स्वरूप मानो, गुरु ब्रह्म रूप जानो। शिव का स्वरूप मानो, गुरु के समान नाहि दूसरा जहान में। गुरु के समान नाहि दूसरा जहान में। गुरु ब्रह्म रूप जानो, शिव का स्वरूप मानो। गुरु ब्रह्म रूप जानो। पाप से बचावे गुरु, ज्ञान को सिखावे गुरु। पाप से बचावे गुरु, ज्ञान को सिखावे गुरु। ब्रह्म से मिलावे गुरु, तुरीय पद ध्यान में। ब्रह्म से मिलावे गुरु, तुरीय पद ध्यान में। गुरु ब्रह्म रूप जानो, शिव का स्वरूप मानो। गुरु ब्रह्म रूप जानो, शिव का स्वरूप मानो। यह श्रुति वेद कहता, गुरु बिन ज्ञान कैसा। यह श्रुति वेद कहता, गुरु बिन ज्ञान कैसा। ज्ञान बिना मुक्ति कैसी आवे तेरे ध्यान में। ज्ञान बिना मुक्ति कैसी आवे तेरे ध्यान में। गुरु ब्रह्म रूप जानो, शिव का स्वरूप मानो। गुरु ब्रह्म रूप जानो, शिव का स्वरूप मानो। छल कपट त्याग दीजे, गुरु जी की सेवा कीजे। छल कपट त्याग दीजे, गुरु जी की सेवा कीजे। सतगुरु की शरण लीजे, खेलिए मैदान में। सतगुरु की शरण लीजे, खेलिए मैदान में। गुरु ब्रह्म रूप जानो, शिव का स्वरूप मानो। गुरु ब्रह्म रूप जानो, शिव का स्वरूप मानो। शिव का स्वरूप मानो। बोलिए सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। राम सिया राम जय जय राम। 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 मंगल भवन अमंगल हारी, मंगल भवन अमंगल हारी। द्रवौ सो दशरथ अजीर बिहारी। द्रवौ सो दशरथ अजीर बिहारी। राम सिया राम जय जय राम। 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 मंगल मूर्ति मारुत नंदन, मंगल मङ्गलमूर्ति मारुतनन्दन सकल अमङ्गलमूलनिकन्दन सकल अमङ्गलमूलनिकन्दन राम सिया राम जय जय राम राम सिया राम जय जय राम राम सिया राम जय जय राम राम सिया राम जय जय राम। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, राधा और कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय, सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। Arjuna had asked the question to Bhagavan, those who have known you as Saguna and worship you as Saguna, and those who worship you as Nirguna, amongst these two, who has understood you better? Bhagavan said, those whose minds is always tuned to me, those whose minds are always tuned to me, and they love me, have a lot of faith, they are the best. Then he said, before we start discussing about Nirguna Upasaka, let us look at their qualifications. One qualification is they have a lot of control over their transactions. Their sense organs are very well regulated, very well moderated. And after they are able to do that, or how are they able to do that? Because they have samatha, equanimity in their transactions, don't get carried away too much by anything. It is said, beauty of human personality is in their equanimity. Just like beauty of music is also in sama, right? You have to hit this sum at the right time. Otherwise, music is somewhere, beat is somewhere, singer is somewhere else. Just like the beauty of music is in that sama, beauty of human being is also is in samatha. And third is, they are always thinking good about others. They don't allow their mind to get colored in such a way that it develops some bitterness. No experience makes them bitter. If at all, it makes them only better. Sarva bhuta hite rataha. These devotees or these Nirguna Upasaka, I think we can close the windows. They will be able to meditate upon Nirguna nature of Bhagavan. What is the Nirguna nature? Third verse. Aksharam, Avyaktam, Sarvatragam, Achintyam, All those indicators we saw yesterday. And then Bhagwan said, to meditate upon Nirguna nature of Bhagwan is not easy. To meditate upon the formless truth is not easy because it doesn't become an object of our sense organs. From childhood till now, whatever things we have understood, whatever things we have known, has always been an object. It has either been an object of sense organs or it has been a thought. For example, love. Does love become an object of sense organ? No, love never becomes object of sense organ, but we still know it. Means what? It has become an object of thought. So either it will be thought or sense organs, something it will be an object only. So this truth, the formless truth, is something which can never become object of sense organ. It is achintyam, does not become object of thought also. So to understand this, there is lot of klesha. Difficulty is there. Bhagwan says, that person will understand, that person will reach. Avyaktahi gatir dukkham dehavadbhi avapyate. We should not say it cannot be reached, because Bhagwan himself is saying avapyate. Avapyate means he reaches. But he reaches after a lot of difficulty. It is just like one morning I get up and say I want to run half marathon. Now the organizer will ask me, how much have you trained? I say, no, I didn't train. I want to run today, first time. What will he say? Marathon gatihi dukkham avapyate. You will reach. But by the time you reach, we need lot of preparation there. But if somebody has trained themselves, done 5K, then gone to 10K, now he wants to run half marathon, has been running for a long time, every weekend he goes. Then you can run half marathon. Like that, Nirguna Brahma directly to understand. Means here Bhagwan is not talking about intellectually understanding. That anybody can do. What he is talking about is benefiting from result of knowledge. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Living life on this strength that other than Brahman there is nothing else. Whatever sorrows come in life, holding on to this knowledge for coming out of sorrow. That Bhagwan says is difficult. Now he says, okay, let us change the topic. What about Saguna Bhakta? Tesham aham samuddharta, mrityu samsara sagarat. Those people who are my devotees, I never allow them to get stuck in any problems. Moment I see they are getting into some difficulty, even if they like it or not, I go and save them. Sometimes it's possible that we might start thinking erroneously or start taking some erroneous decision. So there Bhagwan says, Samuddhartaham. There is one story of Arjuna and Bhagwan Krishna. Both of them go to one wealthy person's home. And that wealthy person is very miserly. Doesn't even call them inside, doesn't even give any food to them. Bhagwan Krishna says, may you be blessed with lot of happiness in life. And he goes away. Then they meet another very poor person. He had only one cow. But so loving that he calls both of them inside, gives both of them milk. Bhagwan Krishna says, may this cow reach my abode. Gokul Dham, may it reach. See, Bal Vihar, this is how we have to change the phrases. You can't say Bhagwan Krishna said, may the cow die. Not in that. Bhagwan Krishna said, may the cow reach my abode. Arjuna was very confused. He said, Bhagwan, the miserly person, you said, may you have a lot of happiness. And this person who did not have anything, you said, even that one cow which was there, that you took away. Bhagwan Krishna said, this cow was his last attachment in coming to me. If a devotee is thinking about me, whatever he has to get, I will give. So whatever I give is also Shobhanam, whatever I take also is Shobhanam. Shobhanam means it is in the right place. That is Samudharta. How he does it, that is up to him. We have heard the story of Naradji also in Ramayana. He got enchanted by Vishwamohini. You all know that story or not? Yeah. Okay, you know that, so I can briefly touch upon the main points. Vishwamohini, all he did was he just saw her. And Vishwamohini's father, he said, please read the palm. And in the palm it said, Lord of the universe will become your husband. Naradji read it as, one whom you marry will become Lord of the universe. And then finally he sat in those rows asking, one good thing he did was, went to Bhagwan and said, I am your devotee, do that by which my good will happen. I want Hari Rupa. That's why a little bit Sanskrit we should study. Same word can have multiple meanings. Hari means Hari, Bhagwan also, the most handsome, most beautiful. Hari also means a monkey. So Bhagwan said, you asked me for your good, right? I will give. And then he gave him Hari Rupa, goes and sits in the rows of kings. It is at whichever row Naradji sat, that row Vishwamohini skipped. Because he said, nowadays even monkeys have started coming to my Swayamvara. She got very angry. And finally there were two Shivaganas who were sitting behind. They tell Naradji, go and look in that water. Or they first praise Naradji. You are looking so good. Vishwamohini will choose you only. But finally they say, go and take a look in that water. Then he sees monkey form. And he gets so angry, so mad. He curses first those Shivaganas. May you be born as Rakshasas. Who are they born as? Ravana and Kumbhakarna. Ravana and Kumbhakarna. Then he goes to Lord Vishnu, greatest devotee of the Lord, goes to Bhagwan Vishnu and he says, you separated me from my Vishwamohini. By that time Bhagwan had come, taken Vishwamohini, and he was waiting, to meet Naradji on his way back. He gets so angry, you took away my Vishwamohini and you sent those monkeys to tease me. You will also be separated from your wife and you will have to take support of monkeys to bring her back. Then he says he is born as, those two are born as Ravana and Kumbhakarna. But Bhagwan says, I will take avatar as Bhagwan Rama. Then what he does is, he takes the Maya away. And suddenly, Naradji realizes, there is no city, there is no palace, there is no Vishwamohini. But he remembers his curse. To Bhagwan, he remembers all of that. Then he says, Bhagwan, your Maya is so powerful, Daivi Hesha Gunamayi, Mama Maya Duratyaya. Even for the best person, it can come and catch. So that episode ends there. But later on, after Kishkinda Kanda, when Bhagwan is seated there, Naradji comes. Sitaji is taken away. Bhagwan is so unhappy. and so much of difficulty he has to go through, and he feels very sorry for Bhagwan. Because of me, you had to go through all this. Then Bhagwan gives him teaching. He says, don't worry, this is all my Leela. But that time, when you had asked for Vishwamohini, that thought of yours was just a passing thought. You are meant for becoming Devarishi Narad. That thought which you had of getting Vishwamohini, that was just a passing thought. I was your Samudharta. Whatever I took away was for your well-being. Whatever I give is also for your well-being. So let me do my work. We should do our work. That is Samudharta. Tesham aham Samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat. How long does it take? Bhavami nachirat partha. Doesn't take too long. All he asks is, Mai aveshita chetasam. Whatever little sadhana we do, whatever little japa we might do, whatever other rituals you might do regularly, only one request from Bhagwan is, in that time, try to absorb your mind in me. For that duration, try to absorb mind in Bhagavan. That is going to be our progress in sadhana. Progress need not always be number related. I was doing 10 malas before, now I am doing 20 malas. I was meditating 10 minutes before, now I meditate half an hour. That is a good metric. But true metric is, how much is our mind absorbing in the Lord? That is why our Rishi said, do japa 108 beads. If you do 108, if you are lucky, 8 times mind will turn towards the Lord. 8 is not more, right? Means that is our nature of mind. Here Bhagwan is telling, Aveshita Chetasam. And he said, there are some qualities of these sadhakas. Yetu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matparaha. They offer all actions unto me and consider me as supreme. They might have several relations. They might be doing several duties. But they do those duties keeping Bhagwan in between. Minus Bhagwan, that same duty can become a chore. At some point we will feel, until when will I do this? Mahatmajis, they give example of jackfruit. You see, if you are opening that jackfruit, apply oil and then put hand. Not directly. Even duties can become a bandhana if it is not done with Bhagavad Bhakti. That devotion to Bhagwan is our oil. With that, happily you do whatever Bhagwan has given us. Then ananyena eva yogena. Whatever they want in life, they ask only from God. That's why in our prayer, it is said, even if you have material desires, noble desires, not adharmic desires. If they are dharmic desires, noble desires, it is okay to ask even that. If we ask from Bhagwan, the way he fulfills is such that we will grow out of that desire. He will fulfill it in such a way that we will start seeing limitations in that thing also. One day, Akbar and Birbal, they were going in their kingdom, and Akbar used to tease Birbal. Different things that we would do in Hinduism, he would say, what are you doing all these things? You go and ask so many things from God. So one day he comes to know that there is one Mahatma Ji, who is very popular. Akbar wanted to, or Birbal wanted to tell Akbar that if you do sadhana, that sadhana will give lot of power. No matter who that person is, when they start doing tapasya, naturally power will come. So Birbal actually goes and tells that person, I will give you money. You start doing Gayatri. Gayatri Japa you do for a long time, and then let us see what is the result. So Birbal had already given that money. Because of that, he had become so popular. Now Akbar and Birbal both decide, let's go and see that Mahatma. Where is he? What is he doing? So many people talk about him. Both of them go, and he is sitting there. So much of radiance, so much of power is there in his eyes. Akbar is very pleased. He says, I will give you 100,000 gold coins. You come to my palace and do now. I want such people in my palace. I'll give you more money. That Mahatma says, no doubt I started because of this. But now what I want, that you cannot give. Meaning what? A person can start the journey because of desires. But Bhagwan fulfills in such a way that Artha or Artharthi Bhakta has to become Jijnasu. Right? 4 types of devotees: Artha, Artharthi, Jijnasu and Jnani. In Ramayana we see so many places. Sita ji is doing Sakama Bhakti. Before they cross Ganga ji, she does a puja to Ganga ji. And she says, if we come back safely, all 3 of us, I will do another puja. This is what we call as Mannat. In so many temples and religious places, we tell Bhagwan that Bhagwan, this is what I want. I keep it at your feet. If it is fulfilled, I will come back. Those are the ways by which our faith will increase. We should never doubt whether it is the right thing or not. How to take us further, that is his responsibility. At some point, the same devotee will feel, Bhagwan, I know you will do the best for me. Now I don't even feel like asking. That is his Ananya Bhakti. Ananyenaiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate. Then Bhagwan said, please make sure that your love is for me and your thoughts are also directed towards me. 2 things. Our love should be for God, and our thoughts also should, at least for some time, turn towards Bhagwan. And if it is not possible, if you are unable to do it, Bhagwan says, the shortcoming would be lack of practice or lack of strong choice. Abhyase atachittam samadhatum nashaknoshi mai sthiram abhyasa yogena tatah. If you are unable to get steadiness in devotion, what we should hold on to is abhyasa. Whatever time we have set for our sadhana, whether we like it or not, whether mind settles or not, he says don't drop it. And make sure that our intensity for Bhagwan is increasing more and more. One good news about devotional path is, even to get these 2 things, devotee depends upon the Lord. He says, Bhagwan, I know my abilities. No matter how much I try to do abhyasa, whenever anything comes, first thing to drop is sadhana. Guruji says, if you have to leave somewhere, tea we will drink very quickly. But he says, jab baat mein karenge. So devotee actually feels that helplessness. He says, Bhagwan, this is how my mind is. And I have invested my ichha in so many places. I myself don't know how am I going to pull back from everything and increase my desire for you. He says that blessing also you only have to give. One good news of getting things from God is we don't have to struggle too much for maintenance. If Bhagwan gives, he gives and he sustains also. That is his bhavana. Now, Bhagwan is very compassionate. He says, Arjuna, I know. It might be possible that somebody might say, this meditation and all is not my cup of tea. I cannot sit in one place for too long. What should I do? Is there some way for me also, or is meditation the only way? That's what Bhagwan says, 10th verse. Abhyasepya samarthosi matkarma paramo bhava madarthamapi karmani kuruvan siddhimavapsyasi. Abhyasepya samarthosi matkarma paramo bhava madarthamapi karmani kuruvan siddhimavapsyasi. Abhyase api asamartha asi. If you think sitting down in one place, turning mind towards me, it might be the best. But if you think that is not possible right now, then mat karma paramo bhava. Do all actions remembering me, considering me as the altar. Not any special action. Whatever action God has given us, whatever duties Bhagwan has given us, that duty, if somebody asks me, why am I doing it? He says, our answer should be, at least for ourselves, I am doing it for Bhagwan. Intention is what will make the difference. Who appreciates, who notices? Who does not notice, who does not appreciate? He is least bothered. It is said there was one cathedral in Rome. They were building these carvings. Have you seen those Rome cathedrals? Beautiful, exquisite carvings. And there was one gallery of all saints. Their saints. Their idols were made and kept. But this was so high, nobody could see from down. And the sculptor who was there was doing it with so much of care. If you see that Shilpi doing the murti, it's such a joy to see. Because there is no wrong stroke. Once it is gone, that whole stone is gone. So this person was doing with so much care up there. Another person comes, a visitor comes, climbs all the stairs all the way up and tells him, nobody is going to come here. Why are you spending so much time doing this murti so well, doing this statue so well? He says, you saw it, right? That much is good enough for me. He says, I saw it, but nobody else will come. He says, the one who is up there is always seeing it. For his love, I am doing. Whether anybody notices or not is not my responsibility. Imagine the freedom that can come in such a mind. One Mahatma Ji, he would say, if there is a performer, a singer, their attention should not be on audience. Otherwise, every time they take a tan, their thought will be, did they appreciate or not? Did you notice it? Attention should not be on themselves also. Too much of self-consciousness, being too self-conscious, I say that is also not good. Attention should be on the subject matter, which is music. So like that, for a devotee, his attention is on God. Attention is not on himself, not on others. His attention is on Bhagavan. And wherever he goes, whatever he does, he always feels Bhagavan is watching. Imagine the state of mind of such a person. He will never do anything wrong. The moment we forget that there is somebody watching, think of it this way. Whomever we revere in life, right? Let us say Guru, we revere. In the presence of Guru, we'll always be very alert. Right? What we eat, what we speak, what we do, or we should be very alert. Let's put it that way. Madhusudana Saraswati ji says, in front of Guru, we should not even say hu or tu. Hum krutya, tum krutya. Means even our mannerism should be so alert. You see, that is how we should be in front of Guru. So in the presence of Guru, how easy it becomes to just do the right thing. Like that, this person does the right thing because he always feels Bhagavan is watching. That is his bhavana inside. Have you heard the word God-fearing person? What does God-fearing mean? Will you call a devotee God-fearing? Arey, Bhagavan is here to remove all fear. And you say this person has fear of God, that doesn't make sense. God-fearing person means he is afraid of doing adharma. One who is afraid of doing adharma, because he says karma phala data it cannot skip the eyes of karma phala data. One Mahatma Ji would say, 2 disciples came to him to learn meditation. Please teach me meditation. He said, I'll have to know whether you are ready yet or not. So he gave both of them one coconut. Break it in a place where nobody is watching. Break it in a place where nobody is watching. They go out, somebody is there. First of all, people outside are curious. Why did the Guru give you coconut? He didn't give us coconuts, he has given you coconut. He said, let us go away from here. They go to some cave, go somewhere. One person finally finds a very dark place, breaks the coconut, comes back. Second boy, he brings the coconut as it is. Say, what happened? Why didn't you break the coconut? Wherever I went, Bhagavan was watching. So you are ready for the next step? Teacher taught him meditation. Ye tu sarvani abhyasepe asamartha asi mat karma paramo bhava. Please make sure that all your actions, Arjuna, are offered unto me. Madarthamapi karmani kurvan siddhim avapsasi. If you are able to do this, all actions surrendered unto me, by doing that, you will get ready for the previous step. What was the previous step? Sitting in one place, contemplating on Bhagavan. It's a sequence. If verse number 9 is not working, try verse 10, you will become fit for verse number 9. Verse number 10 is not working, try 11, we will become fit for verse number 10. Means karma yoga should be done in such a way that it helps us in contemplation. If after karma we feel more agitated, if after karma we feel more turned off from the world, then we should question whether we were really doing karma yoga or not. Because result is this. See what Bhagavan says? Madartham api karmani. If you are doing karmas for me, kurvan, having done it, siddhim avapsasi. We will attain that peace of mind, quietude of mind. Now he says, let us say somebody is not ready for this. What should I do? Athaitadapyashaktosi kartum madyogamashritah sarvakarmapalatyagam tatah kuru yatatmavan athaitadapyashaktosi kartum madyogamashritah sarvakarmapalatyagam tatah kuru yatatmavan atha etad api ashaktosi. We should see within, in whatever duties we do, whatever actions we do, is it easy to remember that our altar is Bhagwan at all times? Or does our mind slip from that many times? Bhagwan is very practical. He says even karma yoga is difficult, I know. Atha etad api ashaktah asi. Kartum means to do the previous one if you are finding it difficult. Then there is another option. Mad yogam ashritah. Having taken ashraya in me, whatever results come, those results you give up. This is the literal meaning. See what he says, second line. Sarva karma phalatyagam. Karma is action. Whatever result come from action is karma phala. All results of action, sarva karma phalam. What should I do? Tyagam. Give it up. See, literal meaning of Bhagavad Gita, if you directly translate, it will not look practical. Karma phala, can you give up at any point? On a 55 speed limit freeway, I go at 155. I don't go, I'm giving an example. And the cop gives ticket. I did an action, I got my karma phala. When karma phala comes, can we say, I don't want it? Think about every karma phala that comes in our life. It could be a headache, it could be a flat tire. Everything is karma phala only. You say when it comes, it will come in such a way we have to accept. So karma phala tyaga over here would mean cheerfully accepting God's will in life. Cheerfully accepting whatever result comes our way. Doing that, we can get ready for the previous step. What was the previous verse talking about? While doing actions, remembering God. This verse is talking about after doing actions, when the results come, that you surrender to God. Surrendering to Bhagwan means accepting that result as prasada. In prasada, we don't know unless we have made that prasada. We don't know what they are giving us. Right? And whatever we get, we happily accept. Because the buddhi is, this is not only puffed rice, this is not only peanuts, this is blessing of the Lord. To see prasada, or to see every situation as prasada, every karma phala as prasada, it's a great blessing. That is his devotee who has started seeing whole life as prasada of the Lord. Sometimes we might have a doubt. Such kind of mindset, whatever comes is prasada. Does it lead to complacency? If you tell children, accept whatever comes your way, they'll say, Mom, right now that is what I'm doing. Why are you pushing me? So prasada buddhi is not in karma. Prasada buddhi is in karma phala. If prasada buddhi was there in karma, Bhagavan would not elaborate 700 verses in Bhagavad Gita telling Arjuna why you should meditate, why you should bring qualities, why you should strive hard. So there he says, Purushartha, put forth your effort, result will come as prasada, that is there. Don't get anxious about why isn't this quality coming in me. That is one part of it. But after something is done, there comes a point where we have no control. All of you are familiar with Gita Press, right? Our books that are published. The publisher of Gita Press, who has translated the entire Ramcharitmanas in Hindi, his name is Hanuman Prasad Poddarji. He had gone to one camping site in India with all other Mahatmas. That was their recreation, They would go to camping site and do satsang there. So they went and he had his own cottage, everything was there. They used to go every year. And that year there was forest fire. And it caught in flames. They tried to douse with whatever water they had. It was not going away. Everybody was anxious. And only his kutia caught fire. Everybody else's was fine. He tried to put 2-3 buckets of water. Then he started calling everybody, please come, please come. He said, what happened? He said, Ji, should we do something? He said, no, Agni Devata is giving darshan. Please take darshan. Means after you have done what you had to do, if it is still happening in some way, he said, accept it as prasada. Swikruti. Swikruti means acceptance. That swikruti gives samarthya, strength. At physical body level also, so many karma phalas keep coming. If we can have this ability to accept it first, this thing is there, I have to accept it. That acceptance gives strength to deal with it. More this person keeps fighting, why me? Neither do we get an answer, nor are we able to go through it. That person who is able to have this kind of mindset of acceptance, that person is also doing devotion to Bhagavan. You see the beauty, Bhagavan's spectrum of devotional practices, he doesn't limit only to meditation. He says we can bring it in everyday life. First one is, whatever Bhagavan has given us, whatever we are doing as actions, in that remembering the Master. You all are familiar with Samartha Ramdas ji, Shivaji Maharaj's Guru. It is said, when Shivaji Maharaj looks from his fort, he sees his Guru, Samartha Ramdas ji, begging for bhiksha. He says, I am the king of this kingdom. He is my guru. Why should he beg for bhiksha? His heart really melts looking at his teacher. He says, when he comes back, please tell him, from today onwards, I have made a resolve. This kingdom I will give to him. This kingdom is his. So people tell him, Samartha Amdashi did not leave any chance to give a teaching to Shivaji Maharaj. So he said, you have given this to me, right? This is mine now. Now he says, whatever I tell that you have to do. You are not king anymore. Let us go for bhiksha. Both of them go with a begging bowl. Shivaji Maharaj, the great king, along with Samartha Ramdas, both of them go take bhiksha. Then finally when they come back, Shivaji Maharaj says, okay, now what? I went for bhiksha with you, now what? He says, now I give the kingdom back to you. Rule this kingdom, keeping in mind that it belongs to me. It is your Guru's kingdom. You are just sitting there on the throne, carrying on the work for your Guru. Every action is thought about as though you are doing it for the Guru. Means, let us say we are in an ashram. If let us say you are in Sandipani and Guruji is there, Swamiji is there. This would happen to us, when we were brahmacharis. They would come to meet Guruji. Now Guruji would send them, go and have food. See, in ashrams, Annakshetra timing is very strict. If 1:30 means 1:30 they will close the counter, cooks will go. And if somebody comes at 2 o'clock, and Guruji has sent, he has sent you also to say, go and make sure that they eat. Now you see that brahmachari's vyavahara should be such that it should please his Guru. If they go back and say whatever they have to say, they say our vyavahara should be such that it should please our Guru. That is this line, Abhyasyapi asamarthosi matkarma paramo bhava. Means while doing actions, do it in such a way that it should please Bhagwan. Even if they have come after hours, go and try to see if they can get some food. If not, you make it. That is the bhavana. And if that is not possible, second one Bhagwan says, after the action is done, offer it or accept it with prasada buddhi. And Vedanta will also not encourage complacency. That point we saw, right? Prasada buddhi is not being complacent or cutting corners while putting forth effort. There was one youngster, he wrote a letter to Gurudev seeking blessings for his new business that he was going to start. Gurudev's response was, with such kind of tardiness, it is very difficult to start any business. You know why he said that? The day on which he posted the letter and the day on which he wrote the letter was 7 days gap. He wrote letter on one day, posted it on 1 week later. He said, if you have to be successful, you cannot afford to be complacent about things. That is one part, but after doing everything, we know results don't come out the way that we want. If it comes, well and good. If not also, devotee says, Jo tari rai, so mari rai. Whatever is your opinion, that is my opinion. Have you heard this phrase before? Jo tari rai, so mari rai. In villages, they have courts. Instead of going to the main court and everything, they will have their own court. The vice person, 2 people will be called and 2 parties will argue in front of them. And sometimes it gets so boring, Afternoon time, they're arguing. One person will doze off. Finally, they have to take a decision, right? They have to pronounce the judgment. The judge who was awake will wake him up. Aapki kya rai? What is your opinion? His answer would be, Jo tari rai, so mari rai. Whatever is your opinion is my opinion. So one Mahatma Ji would say, if we can develop this bhava to Bhagwan, Bhagwan, whatever is your opinion, may that become my opinion. See, one way to come out of sorrow is this. We should be convinced that Bhagwan never does anything wrong. He never does anything wrong, and there is no other doer other than Bhagwan. Only two things. Bhagwan never does anything wrong. There is no other doer than God. With that bhavana, he is able to accept. Now, Bhagwan Krishna, see, in olden days, when they were teaching would continuously go on. How do you know whether the student is awake or not? How do you know whether student is paying attention or not? Sometimes they would say some cryptic thing which will contradict what you have said just now. What did Bhagwan say? Best one is meditation. After that comes doing karma, remembering Bhagwan. After that is offering all results to God, which means accepting all the results to God. Means what is the sequence of best to not so best? First one is the best. If that doesn't work, second. That doesn't work, third. Now he says, out of all these three, the last one which is there, that is the best. Acceptance of results in life, he says, is even greater than karma yoga, even greater than knowledge of the truth. Okay, this verse you have to carefully understand. All of you ready? Pay attention to the sequence. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat jnanadhyanam vishishyate dhyanat karma phalatyagah त्यागात् शान्तिरनन्तरम् श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानाध्यानं विशिष्यते ध्यानात् कर्मफलत्यागः त्यागात् शान्तिरनन्तरम् श्रेयो हि ज्ञानम अभ्यासात्. Compared to just doing abhyasa, sitting down and repeating something, knowledge of the truth, jnanam, means nirguna rupa of Bhagavan, whatever we saw as yetvaksharamanirdesyam avyaktam paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam, not tesham nityabhi, sarvatragam achintyam cha, all those qualities which are there, those are the ones which he knows. So jnanam is greater than abhyasa. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat. Compared to jnanam, meditating upon that truth is greater. Jnanat dhyanam vishishyate. Isn't it true? If you know something is good, but if we can absorb mind in that thing for a long time, that is even greater. 2 steps done. Then he says, dhyanat karma phalatyagah vishishyate. Compared to meditation, this karma phalatyaga which we just spoke about, that is even greater than meditation. Why is it so? Tyagat shantihi anantaram. The moment we accept things, we are at peace. Tyagat shantihi anantaram. Means somebody can be very knowledgeable. Somebody can absorb the mind in that truth also. But he says it is possible that acceptance part in life might be lacking. And if acceptance is lacking, we cannot benefit from that knowledge. In Vyavahara, we will always feel we are at conflict with the world. And what we want to see as a result of knowledge is actually in Vyavahara only. True or not? Do we want to be liberated only at the seat of meditation, or do we want liberation at all times? We want it at all times. That is what is called as Jivana Mukti. Jivan Mukti means liberation while living. So if that somebody wants to experience, Bhagavan says the main ingredient is going to be Karma Phala Tyaga. And Arjuna is a prince. Right from childhood, he has been given the best. Who is the teacher who should teach you? Is in our kingdom, whoever is the best teacher, that teacher should come. Dronacharya comes. All the things he has received so far is the best. So Bhagavan is also very alert. If I give him these three options, meditation, karma yoga, karma phala tyaga, if I don't say that third one is best, he will not be inspired to do it. Whatever is the best, that is the one he takes, that is the one he starts. It is not to say Bhagavan is only saying it for the sake of saying it. It is said, journey always begins from where we are, not where the destination is. Destination might be very great, but if I have to reach there, I have to start from where I am right now. That is one way to look at it. Why does Bhagavan flip the order? Why does he say acceptance is even greater than meditation? Because when we start walking on this path of acceptance, to see the result of knowledge is easier. Dhyanat karma phala tyagah tyagat shantihi anantaram. Do you all want to reflect on one Vedantic meaning of this? Only if you want. Yes. Karma phala tyaga also means bhoktrutva tyaga. To let go of this notion that I am an experiencer. That is even greater than everything else. Bhoktrutva tyaga is this karma phala tyaga. See, the same thing in Puranas, they will explain through a story. In 24 Gurus of Avadhuta, what is that bird? Osprey. Right? It is carrying a piece of meat in its beak, and all other birds are after it. It says, what did I do wrong that all other birds are after me? Let me try dropping this piece of meat. Everybody goes after it. After the meat, bird is left happily. That is the same example. Tyagat shanti anantaram. When we don't hold after things in this world, those things don't bother us. whatever is meant to come, that devotee says, it will come no matter what. Yallabhase nija karmopattam vittam tena vinodaya chittam. If I am supposed to deserve, or I deserve a promotion, nobody is there in this world who can stop it. And if it is not meant to come at this time, no matter what I do, it will not work. Even if it works, it will bring lot of klesha. That is this acceptance, karma phala tyaga. Now, after this verse, different qualities of a devotee is elaborated. We can also look at it as qualities of a jnani, qualities of a wise person. See, whatever is natural to a wise person becomes sadhana for all of us. Siddhasya lakshanani sadhakasya sadhanani. Of a Siddha Purusha, whatever is their natural expression of knowledge, for a sadhaka becomes something to strive up to. So Bhagavan is telling here, whatever is the lakshana of a devotee, he says we can at least pay attention to them and strive to live up to them. See, in many places, or even here, we chant 15th chapter before eating, right? In some traditions, they chant 12th chapter before eating. So these values are such, more we keep repeating them. Even if we don't elaborate too much, it will keep sending a reminder. This is how our life should be. Okay, very beautiful verses, 13th verse. Adveshta sarvabhutanam Maitrah karuna evacha Nirmamo nirahankarah Samadukha sukhakshami Adveshta sarvabhutanam Maitrah karuna evacha Nirmamo nirahankarah Samadukha sukhakshami. First quality of a devotee is there is no hatred in him towards anybody. Adveshta sarva bhutanam. Kinchit bhutanam is possible. To have no hatred towards people who are nice to us. That is possible. His accomplishment is he has no hatred towards anybody. See, all these things for a devotee is result of their understanding. Because in their eyes, other than Bhagwan, there is nobody. And you see, in every avatar, when Bhagwan Rama fights with Ravana, Bhagwan Krishna is killing Shishupala. There is no dvesha bhavana inside. He said, this is something which is to be done, that is why I am doing it. But not out of dvesha. So that is his first insignia, Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam. In Bhagavatam, there is the first story which comes in Varaha Avatara. You know, when Bhagwan is bringing the Prithvi up, who is the demon who fights with Varaha Bhagwan? Hiranyaksha. Hiranyaksha means, Aksha means eyes. Hiranya means gold. His eyes are always on gold. Means on only material things. That is Hiranyaksha. He comes and he scolds Bhagwan, abuses him, shouts at him, says so many things. Bhagwan calmly takes that Prithvi up, does not pay attention also to Hiranyaksha. Then he comes back, fights with Hiranyaksha, liberates him. See, every Leela of Bhagwan has something in it what he is teaching us. He says, if you have a goal, there is no point in developing dvesha with anybody. If he leaves his Prithvi and starts fighting with Hiranyaksha, his Prithvi will go down again. Start the whole thing again, whatever you had reached up to. So here that devotee says, what is my goal? And this dvesha bhavana, dvesha buddhi, is only obstructing it, not helping it. With that bhavana, he is adveshta sarva bhutana. Second one is maitraha. Maitra means without getting attached, he has the ability to give love. See, one part was no dvesha. Right? Generally, dvesha and raga will go together. So he doesn't have dvesha, doesn't have raga. So one who doesn't have raga here is called as maitraha. Means he accepts people as they are and gives lot of love. But in his mind, he is loving the same Lord. Doesn't get attached to that object or person or situation. That person is called as maitraha. Third one is karuna. Karuna means compassionate. Many times, all these values are sometimes spoken about as something to be practiced. See, these values are meant to become one with our personality. There is no time limit on it. There is no duration until which we should practice. If somebody says honesty for that matter, satyam, honesty. If somebody says I'm 90% honest, 90% honest, we'll doubt about that person's honesty. That 10% is sufficient to cause a lot of trouble. Or if somebody says, on weekdays I'm honest, weekends I don't know. Our values are such, they don't have time limit. It is not something we have to consciously practice as something else. So karuna also, compassion is such. If you say, be compassionate, it is good to say it that way, but actually, the vision of oneness brings compassion naturally. Wherever we see oneness, even without that person asking, we feel like helping. Mother's compassion for the child. Is it something she practices? That, okay, from now I have to be compassionate. No. That feeling of oneness is so much. As a result of that knowledge, compassion is natural. It is said, society can be two types. One type of society is like wheat. Have you gone to a store in India where you buy wheat from the grocery store? They take a scoop, and when you take that scoop, little bit of grains from the side will fall inside. Means that hole will be covered by the grains around. Means one type of society is whenever somebody needs something, people around will come and pitch in. They will try to help that person. Second type of society is like milk. You scoop a container, you don't even know where that depression was formed. Where that hole was formed, the things around fill it up in such a way that void is not even felt. That is this karuna. This person is having so much of compassion because he sees Bhagwan everywhere. I mean, these are all values to keep any group together, starting from family. One of these values is missing, it is sufficient to bring cracks. One Mahatma Ji would say in Hindi, आपकी दीवार अंबुजा सीमेंट से भी बनी हो, अगर धर्म नहीं है, it will bring cracks. They had an ad, right? Where they had this wall which was built with that cement. They tried to break the wall, it doesn't break. He says those walls are physical walls. But in our relationships, what protects our relationship is these values. Maitrah karuna evacha nirmamah nirahankarah. Doesn't have mamata. Mamata means, see, two words are there, aham and mama. Whatever I identify as myself, that I call as aham. This body, I don't say it is, although I say my body, but in my eyes we think, I am this body. In our eyes, we think, I am this body. If our mind is disturbed, what do we say? I am disturbed. If you say, my mind is disturbed, that is one step up in our sadhana. At least we know I am not the mind, it is my mind. So wherever we have identified as aham, that part becomes our ahamta. For example, this body, mind, everything we called as aham. Through this aham, whatever we call as mine, that is called as mama. If this was my harmonium, I will not say I am harmonium. Although body is also Pancha Mahabhuta, harmonium is also 5 elements. In harmonium, I don't have aham. What do I have? Mama. And both these things, if we don't, or if we forget that we are that infinite consciousness, we try to increase it more and more. If we forget that we are that infinite consciousness, we try to increase our aham. More the doership, more the power, more the strength. We feel happy. If aham we cannot increase, at least mama we try to increase. Through that mama, aham only increases. So this person is somebody who knows that he is a trustee of God. Nirmamaha nirahankaraha. Whatever is there, he says, it belongs to Bhagwan. And I am only here as a caretaker. Even those things which he rightfully owns, in those things also he has this buddhi. What he doesn't own, there he should not have anyway. But even in those things which he has attained because of karma, in those things also, he thinks, I am only trustee of God. When Nishad Raj meets Bhagwan Rama in the forest, you all must have heard the Kevat Prasanga. Before that it comes. Nishad Raj goes along with all his tribal people, very pure-hearted. He goes everything and says, keeps everything in front of Bhagwan and says, Deva Dharani Dhanu Dhama Tumhara. मैं निज सहित परिवार. मैं निज नीच सहित परिवार. He says, I along with my family are at your service. Bhagwan, we have come to you. Bhagwan doesn't say, oh, you are so great, you are saying so many things, this is out of your large-heartedness. Bhagwan doesn't say that. He says, Kahahu Satya. whatever you said is the truth. Means the real master of all these things is me alone. That is their bhavana. There is no mamatva, no aham. Nirmamaha, nirahankaraha. These qualities become very, very visible in great Mahatmas. I had heard this story from another Mahatmaji. He said, Swami Akhandanandaji Maharaj, he was a great Santa. In his sabha, every day morning, Mahatmajis would come. They would come and sit. Even if they have taught Vedanta several times, everybody is a great scholar of Vedanta. They will pick some simple word from scriptures only and say, okay, now you explain. So all Mahatmas would explain. Finally, Maharaji would give his perspective. So one day, the word chosen was this, Nirmamaha Nirahankara. What is the meaning of the word Nirmamaha Nirahankara? In that sabha, Swami Shivanandaji's disciple, Divine Life Society, Chidanandaji Maharaj, Guru Bhai of Gurudev, he was also there. Very humble saint, Even if you see Swamiji sitting, he'll sit at the edge of the seat, very shy. Swami Akhandanandaji said, if you want to understand the meaning of Nirmamo Nirahankara, look at Swami Chidanandaji. He is a living embodiment of Nirmamaha Nirahankara. Now he by himself is so humble. And when Maharajji praised him in front of everybody, he was feeling even more embarrassed. But see, if some saint says something, you cannot ignore it. Neither can you refuse it. He said, if there is a room adjacent, and I tell you there is a bag in that room, only when I have kept it, I will know there is a bag in that room. If Maharaji is telling there is some good thing here, it must be true, because he only has kept it. He is my Guru, he has kept it. If he has kept it, he knows it must be there. That is this person who is Nirmamaha Nirahankara. Doesn't take anything to be his, lives as trustee of God. Nyasa means wealth. Nyasa means treasury. Nyasi means what? Treasurer. Nyasi means treasurer. Sannyasi means what? A very good treasurer. That is one etymology of sannyasi. Means one who carries on his life in such a way that it doesn't take anything to be his. That is this sadhaka, nirmamaha, nirahankara. Sama dukkha sukha kshami. In joy and sorrow, he is equanimous. Dukkha and sukha, he says both are sent by him. He is prepared right from the beginning. If dukkham comes, he is not surprised. If sukham comes, he doesn't expect it to remain forever. In that way, he is sama, equanimous, and kshami. Kshami means forgiveness. Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji translates kshami as aparityaga lakshana. Aparityaga lakshana means that quality of a devotee, of a person, not to let go of anybody. Tyaga means to let go. Oh, I got turned off, that's why I let go. That ability not to let go is called as kshama. forgiveness. I mean, these are all expectations for a devotee. Huh? He said, no matter what happens, he said, we cannot afford to become bitter. One type of kshama is something in which the mind never gets that thought also of revenge or anger. In Bhagavatam, when Parikshitji Maharaj takes that snake and puts it around that Rishi, that Rishi doesn't even notice that there is a snake. Even after he notices, calmly he puts it down. He says, king must have been in a different frame of mind. It's okay. His son gets angry and he curses. But that Rishi's kshama is like the absolute, where mind does not even get affected. For a sadhaka, there is another type of kshama, more mellower. Even if mind gets affected, if somebody who is revered tells us to forgive, he forgives. Like our Lakshmanji. When things happened in Ayodhya, he just could not bear the sight of Kaikeyi. That anger which was so much. But when all the mothers come to meet Bhagwan Rama, Kausalya ji, Sumitra ji and Kaikeyi, in Chitrakoot they come. The first person whom Bhagwan bows down to is Kaikeyi. That is his kshama, absolute. But once Bhagwan tells Lakshmanji, you have to forgive, you cannot hold on to this too long. Then Lakshmanji forgives. Means he is able to have working relationship. If that is there, he says you have accomplished a lot in our spiritual journey. Kshama to see in a Mahatma is so great. But for sadhaka, there is a difference. Okay. More qualities we will see in the next session. Tomorrow will be our last session. So I hope to see all of you in the last session also. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.